Hey guys, it's Angel with MakingBabyTaylor, and today I'm here to talk to you about using a ring sling with your toddler. Now, I received this Mamaway ring sling for free in exchange for my honest, unbiased review. So I've been testing it out lately, and I wanted to go ahead and make a video all about how I use this ring sling with a toddler. Yes, they're not just for babies. And then talk about what I thought about this particular ring sling. Now today I'm going to show you the hip carry because I tend to carry my daughter on my hip a lot when I'm carrying her around in my arms. So I think that it's a really useful carry for a ring sling, especially with toddlers and older babies who have good head control. Now there's many other ways to use a ring sling. I did primarily do tummy to tummy carries when Kerrigan was a little tiny baby, and you can even use ring slings for back carries, though I would not recommend doing that unless you're a very experienced baby wearer. And even then, it's much more widely recommended to still wear it where the rings are still on your shoulder with your baby behind you. You might have seen some people do carries that's like a ruck with the rings end up behind you and the weight is not pulling on it the same way it does when it's on your shoulder to kind of lock it in place. So there is the potential that the sling can slip out of the rings, and that is a hazard. So if you were to use that carry, definitely be sure to keep an eye on where the rings are, making sure they continue to stay tight and your baby continues to be secure on your back. But anyway, like I said, today I'm going to do the hip carry because that one is nice and simple and easy and useful, and it's a carrier that's great even for beginners. So when you get started, you want to make sure that the tail is not twisted inside the rings at all. It should be facing wrong side out if it's correct. And so it should be all the way across. You can kind of walk your hands across to make sure it's not twisted at any point. If it's twisted, it'll be not only less comfortable, but also harder to adjust. So you're going to put this on kind of like a beauty pageant sash over one shoulder. I like putting it on my left shoulder so that I can use my right arm, which is my dominant arm, fully. Especially if you're new to ring slings like I am. I have a lot of baby wearing experience, but not as much ring sling experience. It helps to kind of start out here because as you adjust the rings, it'll pull them down. You don't want them to end up too low. So before you get started, you kind of want to adjust it. Be quiet. Okay. Before you get started, you kind of want to adjust it a little bit to begin with so you don't have to do quite as much once your baby is inside. So to do that, I kind of put my arm in it and that kind of holds her place. And then I adjust the rings. So the closest to it is going to be the top rail and the farthest away is the bottom rail here. And then you're ready to put your baby in. So you take them, put them up high on your other shoulder. If you have a smaller baby, this is a lot easier. Kind of like the burp position. And you put both legs all the way through. Slip them through. Then you want to create your seat. Since this is a hip carry, you want your baby on your hip, and you want to make sure that the material of the sling goes from knee to knee. And you want to make sure you have a good seat. So how you do that is you reach in between you. The whole time that you're doing all these, you still want to hold your baby because they're not secure yet. You reach between you and pull up on the fabric. And that creates a seat for them so it's comfortable and secure. Then you want to pull up all the way. If you have a newborn, you don't want to go kind of up onto their head even. But a baby with good head control, as long as it's kind of up to their shoulders, is good. And first, you'll want to adjust the bottom rail. You don't want to over tighten it so that you can still have that good seat where their bum is lower than their knees. And to adjust the bottom rail is, again, the part of the tail furthest away from your baby. And you have to kind of hold the weight of your baby up and then pull. Next, you want to get all the slack out the top. So, holding your baby, pull from here, all this slack, all the way over. Now it's right here. You're holding your baby and you're holding the slack. This one, you want to pull the part of the tail that's closest to your baby, and you kind of want to pull it horizontally because that's kind of how it goes through the rings. There we go. All right, when you're all set, the ring should just be, on your shoulder about corsage level. Your baby should be secure. If you need to adjust in the middle, you can also pull on the tail on the corresponding area of it. We call that tightening thread by thread in the baby wearing world. And if you want, you can either let the tail hang, or you can wrap it around your rings to make them cushioned a little bit for you. Like that. Or, especially for smaller babies, it kind of helps to have that added peace of mind. You can kind of make a headrest and tuck it, or some people also do, if they have more tail left, they can kind of pull it under their baby and tuck it. It also makes for a good nursing cover if you want a little bit more privacy. So the hip carry is very useful because it gives you your hands free, and it also makes it really easy to nurse on the go. And then, like I said, you can use this as a cover if you want. She hates covers, so I can't really do it. But you do have this extra bit of fabric. For maximum comfort, you want to spread down the shoulder so it's spread all the way. And spread all the way on your back. That'll help distribute the weight a little bit more and make it more comfortable. And lastly, when you need to take it off, all you do is take this bottom ring here and lift it, and it'll loosen. And then you can take your baby out. So there you have it. That's the hip carry for a toddler with the Mamaway ring sling. As far as how I think about it, I like it. It's okay. There's a couple things that I liked about it, a couple things I didn't like about it. I like the color scheme. I think it's gorgeous. I like the little, there's a pocket underneath the shoulder here, so that when you're not using it, it makes it really easy to store. And that's kind of one of the draws of the ring slings, is they can fold up really, really small and compact, which makes it really easy. Something you can throw in your diaper bag and take with you on the go. I really like how wide the fabric is, because that means that you can use this with a toddler and it will still come up high enough on their back. And it is a pretty sturdy fabric, even though it is cotton and not something that ring slings are typically made out of, like woven wraps or linen. However, I feel like the rings are too small. Most ring slings are made out of aluminum rings, which are a lot thinner, and they're about the same size, sometimes even bigger. So when the rings are too small and the fabric is too wide and or thick, it makes it really hard to adjust. So if you can see on this ring, the fabric is so wide that it's like bunched up and like into the ring, so then it's getting thicker at certain parts, and that made it really hard to adjust it. The other thing is the fabric is a little bit stiff right now, but like most things baby wearing, I'm sure it'll probably break in and be a lot softer with more use and washing it and so on. Another thing I don't really like about it is the way that the shoulder is sewn. It can't spread very far, so it's not as comfortable as some other shoulders. A lot of ring slings you can go like all the way around, like a cap sleeve, onto your arm, and so that makes it feel a little bit better. This one is really, really stuck the way it's sewn, so you can't really spread it very much. And the major thing is this did not come with any instructions at all. And on their page on Amazon, it has just one photo, which has the very, very basic instructions about putting in a toddler. So unless you've had experience with a ring sling, you wouldn't really know what you're doing. And so I feel like that is a really big deal, because some people who buy a ring sling might be new moms. They might have never baby worn, they might have never used a ring sling before, and if they're not using it correctly, it could be extremely unsafe. And when I was looking through the customer photos on the Amazon page when I was getting ready to write my review, a lot of the moms posted pictures of their babies in it, and they were using it incorrectly, and it was very unsafe. A lot of them were wearing it upside down, and they also had it very, very extremely loose, and that's not good. So I feel like it's really important. Usually when you purchase a baby wearing product, it comes with instructions on how to use it safely, and I think that is absolutely crucial. So it really bothers me that they didn't include instructions. So if you're new to ring slings, if you aren't really sure how to use it, I definitely highly suggest watching some YouTube videos about how to use them so that you know that you're doing it correctly and safely and comfortably. I will link a couple of them down below so that you can see what I'm talking about. She's getting sleepy. Are you nice and snuggled with mommy? So there you have it. This is the how to wear your toddler in a hip carry and a ring sling video. Also a review of the Mamaway ring sling. I hope you enjoyed it or you learned something new. Please give me a thumbs up if you did. And while you're at it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my future videos too. Thanks for watching. Bye! Say bye, Kerrigan.
Hi.
Bye.